Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, v'ani brov chastecha, avo beitecha, eshtachavel heichal kodshecha, v'yiratecha, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Adonai ahavti be'yon beitecha u'mekom mishkan kevodecha mishkan kvodecha ma tovu. Sing along. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Can we say Shabbat Shalom together? Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It is wonderful. It is wonderful to be together, both in person and virtually for those joining us on Zoom. If you want to just give a little wave to all those joining us to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate the Bar Mitzvah of Dean Collins. Mazel Tov. Let's say Mazel Tov to Dean together. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov to the Collins family, to the Slum family, to your entire family on this amazing, beautiful occasion of Dean's Bar Mitzvah. What a day. It is raining. As the great sage, I think it was the great sage Alanis Morissette said, it's like rain on your Bar Mitzvah day. So it is, but in our tradition, rain is a sign of blessing. And so we are truly feeling blessed. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. And take a deep breath as we enter our service today, feeling blessed to be able to join together in person to celebrate Shabbat and to celebrate this moment in Dean's life. Right before Shabbat, on behalf of Rabbi Feinstein and our senior rabbi, all of the clergy, lay leadership, members of ILOVEVBS Shalom, we want to welcome you here today. Right before Shabbat, I was speaking to Rabbi Feinstein. And he said he was giving me the keys to the shul for the weekend. And he said, take her for a spin, have fun, don't crash. And then he hung up. I was like, what do you mean, don't crash? What do you mean? Right? If you're watching Rabbi Feinstein, what do you mean? I think he meant don't talk about politics. I think that's maybe what he meant. But anyway, we're gonna do the opposite. Actually, we're gonna buckle up. We're gonna enjoy the ride. There are exits on our sides, and we're going to actually ascend a mountain together and get to that overlook and look out together at the beauty of the world and try to see that beauty and recognize the goodness the goodness that is within all of our lives and see the beauty of God's creation of this world and join together in tefillah and learning and in celebrating with Dean, with you, Bridie, and Tennessee, and your whole family, with Brookie, everybody. And so we ask that you join together. We're going to be in our blue Siddur, the Sim Shalom Siddur. We'll join when Dean reads Torah for us. We'll be in the red Chumash. Both can be found in the back of the room. We do have a number of COVID policies that we have to uphold because of the current climate that we're living in. So we ask that that really it's mostly Dean behind here unmasked, but everyone sometimes you'll see clergy unmasked, but that we try to keep our masks on at all times. If you do need a mask break, you're welcome to step outside to get a breath of fresh air. We're going to begin together on page 105 in our Siddur as Kenner Barron leads us, Shochena.
Shochena nemarom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv rarnu tzadikim baronai la'yisharim navatela b'fi sharim titalal uv'divrei tzadikim titbarach ובלשון חסידים תתרומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקהלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל ונפרש. להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, להלל ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי, עבדך משיחך, ישתבח שמך, לעד מלכנו. ברכות והודעות מעתה ועד עולם, ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרו, מלך אלכי העולמים. יתגדל ויתקדש מרבה, בעלמא דברך ירצה וימליך מלכותי, בחיי כל ומכון וככל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מפרך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיא. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתענשא וירדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשא בריחו לילה מן כל ברכת ושירתה תושבחת ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו amen. Ask you all to please rise. ברכו Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Yotzer Or Uvorei Choshech Oseh Shalom Uvorei et Hakol. You may be seated. Hakol Yomducha והכל ישבחוך והכל יאמרו אין קדוש כאדוני הכל ירוממוך סלע יוצר הכל יוצר הכל האל הפותח בכל יום דלתות שערי מזרח ומאיר לעולם, לעולם כולו כל יום שברה במידת רחמים המאיר לארץ ולעדרים עליה ברחמים. לי 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 האל הפותח המאיר לארץ ולעדרים, עליה ברחמים. Ein כרכך אדוני אלוהינו, אין כרכך ואין זולתך, אפס מלך ומי דומה לך. אין כרכך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה, ואין זולתך מלכנו לחיי העולם הבא. אפס מלך גואלנו לימות המשיח, ואין דומה לך מושיענו לתחיית המתים. אל אדון על כל המעשים, ברוך ומבורך בפי כל נשמה, גודלו וטובו מלא עולם, דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו. המתגאה על חיות הקודש ונדר וחמור, על המרכבה זכות ומישור, לפני חיסור חסד ורחמים, לפני כבודו. טובים מאורות שברא אלוהינו, יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם, להיות מושלים בקרב תבל, מלאים זיוון פיקים נוגה, נאה זיוון בכל העולם, שמחים את צאתם וששים בבואם, עושים בהם הרצון קולם. פאר וכבוד עוד שנים בלי שמו, צוהר ורינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אור רעב, והקים צורת הלבנה. שבע שנות שנים לו כוכבה מערוב תפארת, או גדולה שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש. איי לי 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 איי לי 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 איי לי לי שבח נותנים לו כל צבא מערוב תפארת, או גדולה שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש. לילה של שבת מכל המעשים ביום השביעי. ועל מאור שעשית יפרוך הסלע. We're on page 110. תפרצו אלינו מלכנו וגואלנו. כולם אהובים, כולם ברורים, כולם גיבורים וכולם עושים באימה וביראה רצון קונם, וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה ובטהרה, בשירה ומזמרה, ומברכים ומשבחים ומפארים ומריצים ומקדישים ומניחים את שם האל המלך הגדול, וכולם מגמלים עליהם עול מלכות שמיים זה מזה, ונותנים רשות זה לזה להקדיש ליוצרם בנחת רוח, בשפה ברורה ונימה קדושה, כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. והאופנים וחיות הקודש ברעש גדול מתנזרים לעומת שרפים, לעומתם משבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו לאל, ברוך נמות יתנו. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו, ברוך אתה אדוני יוצר המאורות. Ahava Rabbah Tanu Adonai Eloheinu Chemla Gedola Mitzera Chamalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Ba'avur Amvoteinu Shebatcho Etcha Shebatcho Etcha Avinu Malkeinu Vatlamdem Chukei Chaim Ken Tichonenu Utlamdenu Avinu HaRachaman Hamrachem Rachem Aleinu V'tein b'libeinu Lehavin Ulhaskir Lishmoa Lilemor Ulelamed Lishmor Velasot Ulekayem Et Kol Divrei Talmud Toratecha V'Yahava V'ha'ereinu V'Toratecha V'Daber Libeinu V'Mitzvotecha V'Yachen Levaveinu Le'ahava U'L'yira Et Shemecha V'lo הגדול והנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה נגילה ונשמחה ישועותיך.
A number of years ago, there was a professional sports team here in Los Angeles that was mired in controversy. I don't know if you remember, anybody remember this team where the owner of the team had said some offensive, racist remarks. And he was eventually forced to sell the team. And there was a moment during that time where the team management, I don't know who made the decision, but they put a t-shirt for the next game on every seat in the arena. It was the same shirt on every seat. I wasn't there, I wish I was, because it was an amazing scene to see. I don't know if you remember the game or saw the game. But you turn on I turned on the television, and you see all these people, the entire arena, wearing the same shirt. And the only thing that it said on the shirt was, "We are one." We are one. You saw people from all different backgrounds, from all different parts of life, of all colors, sitting together, joining together in a joint experience, wearing the same shirt, expressing the idea and the fact that we are one. This statement isn't new to us. For generations, we have been saying this. We've been saying it through the words of Shema. Every morning when we wake up, every evening, and every night before we go to bed, we open these words and we say it. Shema Yisrael, listen up. We would just listen. Listen up, people of Israel. That's all of us. God is one. And when we say God is one, we also mean that we are all one. One people, all humanity, responsible for each other, for taking care of each other, for lifting each other up, for embracing each other. This is the mission statement of the Jewish people. And it was the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., may his memory be for a blessing, who we remembered this weekend, to remind everyone that we are all created equal, that we are all made B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. We are all one. And so we hold Dr. King in our hearts and his message as we continue to share that message, to internalize that message, to share that message with each other and with the world. We join together as we call forward Dean to lead us in the words of Shema, page 112.
והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קום המיעוט לארצנו, כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, וברום אחרת מכל עם ולשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ויחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'otecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi metzavecha, Hayom alevavecha, veshinantam levanecha, vedibarta bam, veshivtecha bevetecha, uleftecha avaderech, uvshotbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, vehayulet hotavot beinenecha, uchtavtam, amazuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
Ayam shemot yishma mitzvotai asher anochi mitzaveh etchem hayom yah.
Leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotziti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem emet.
לדור ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים, וכיסו נכון, ומלכותו ואמונתו לעד קיימת. פודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך, עזרת אבותינו אתה אומר למגן המשיח. שהילות אל עליון, ברוך ומבורך, משה בני ישראל לכנו שירה, בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך, האלים אדוני, מי כמוך, נהדר בקודש, אורות תהילות, אוסף אלה. שירה חדשה שימחו גלים לשמך שפתיים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד. אור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל, מבטחנו בך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו Adonai Tzevaot Shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch Atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
We begin the Amidah on page 115b as Dean leads us.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Bezocher Chasdei Avo, Umevi Goel, Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ufoked Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Eitim Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Ashifa Ruach Umarid HaGashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayim Eitim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Nochlim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunatov, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurah, Umido Melach, Melech Mimi, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'nei Marata, Echayot Meitim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaMeitim.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמתישים אותו בשמי מרום. ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה לזה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, בכל הארץ כבודו. אז בכל רעש גדול, אדיר וחזק משמיעים קול, מתנשאים ליום הצרפים, ליום הצום, ברוך יומהו, ברוך יבוא אדוני ממקומו. במקומך מלכנו, מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מבכים אנחנו לך. במקומך מלכנו, מלכנו תופיע, ותמלוך עלינו, כי מבכים אנחנו לך. מתי תמלוך, תמלוך את ציון. מתי תמלוך את ציון. בקרוב בימינו, לעולם ועד תשכון. בקרוב בימינו, לעולם ועד תשכון. תתגדל ותתקדש, תתגדל ותתקדש, בתוך ירושלים, ירושלים עירך. לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. לדור ודור, ולנצח נצחים. ועינינו תראנה מלכותך, הדבר האמור בשירי זכר. על ידי דוד משיח צדקך, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גאולתך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושפחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Continue silently, page 117 through page 120. Feel free to read the Hebrew or the English. to read the meditations for Shabbat on page 121 or to add any prayers from your own heart. At your conclusion, you may be seated.
שים שלום בעולם, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, ברכנו אבינו כולנו כאחד, באור פניך, כי באור פניך נתת לנו, אדוני אלוהינו, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, וטוב בעיניך, לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת, בכל שעה, בשלומך, שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים ורחמים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל ישראל עמך, ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. Page 138. יתגדל מקדש שמי רמה, בעלמא דברך ינוצא וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם וינסה, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתלול שמי לקודשו, בריחו לעילם ינקול ברכת ושירתה, תושבע ונחמתה, דם ירם ימה ויאמרו, תקבל צלון הונו עד אחרון לכל ישראל, קודם אבנו משמי ויאמרו, יהי שלמה רבה מן שמי וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו, עושה שלום במרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו.
Close your siddur for a moment. It is a blessing in this moment for parents who have reared their children. who have brought them into this world and guided them to this moment, to be able to share words of blessing with their child. And so it's my honor and privilege to call forward Bryony and Tennyson and Dean to share words of blessing with Dean and to present Dean with his talit.
I'm going to try really hard not to cry because that's the one thing Dean asked me, not to cry. I want to start by giving a very special thank you to Rabbi Avi and Cantor Barron for leading such a beautiful and meaningful service, and to Cantor Lori, who's watching out there, for her hours of teaching and working with Dean to prepare him for today. I also want to say a very special thank you to all of our family and friends who have braved COVID and come to Shul, and to all those who are watching on the live stream for supporting us all, especially Dean. I'm going to try Dean. Deanie, I can hardly believe that we are standing here at your bar mitzvah. While today will certainly be locked in my mind as one of the most special moments of my life, I want you to know that spending this past year studying for your bar mitzvah has been equally special. I am so proud of the commitment and dedication that you have shown to preparing for this day, your eagerness to learn, your desire to practice most of the time, and your patience in putting up with me as a teacher. At your bris, we gave you two names, the English name Dean in honor of your grandpa Dennis, and the Hebrew name Shlomo after your great-grandpa Solly. Dennis had a love of life and a passion for living. He welcomed adventure and any opportunities to experience new things. Grandpa Solly, whose Hebrew name was Shlomo, was a true mensch. He was kind and generous to everyone who knew him. He was gentle and easygoing and always behaved honorably. He cherished his family, was a leader in the Jewish community, and gave back to society. As we held you in our arms 13 years ago today, not today, but 13 years ago, it was our prayer for you that through your life, you would grow to embody the amazing virtues of your grandpa and great-grandpa. Today, Dean, we can resolutely tell you that our prayer has been fulfilled. You have an incredible love of life and sense of adventure. You are always eager to explore new things, and you give 100% of yourself to whatever you choose to do. Whether it's achieving your black belt in Taekwondo, giving your all on the basketball court, or diligently studying for your school exams, when you commit to something, you are all in. You have so many amazing talents. You are bright, athletic, and funny. Equally important to those talents, however, is who you are as a person. From an early age, you instinctively knew what was right and wrong. Kindness and fairness have always been important to you. You always stand up for your family and friends and have shown Dad and I over and over again that even when it's not popular, your compass always points north. And like your great-grandpa Solly, yours is a gentle strength, quiet and calm, but always ready to act and help others in need. May you always be known for these virtues. Dean, since you were born, you have been both blessed and a blessing. You have been fortunate enough to be surrounded by great-grandparents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins who love and support you. In turn, you have been a great source of pride and happiness to those who know you. So noticeably absent today are your Uncle Bibi and your Granny Mally. Deanie, I want you to know how much they loved you and how proud of you they were. You brought such meaning and joy to their lives, and I know that they are watching down on you today with immense pride for the young man that you have become. Today, as you chant from the Torah, you will be wearing the talit that your Uncle Bibi wore at his bar mitzvah. I hope you can feel his and Granny Mally's love enveloping you now and always. As your mom, I wish I could change some of the sadness you have already experienced in your life. I wish I could make your path forward only one of joy and success. Unfortunately, none of us are immune to tragedy, so the best I can do is to teach you and try and guide you. So as you become a bar mitzvah and move into the next stage of your life, I want to offer you a few fundamental things to take with you. Remember them and use them to guide you, especially when life gets tough. The first is community. To walk safely and steadily in this world, you will need support. You will need community. And I want you to look around right now. Pause for a brief moment and look out into this audience. This is your support, your community. This amazing group of people have come here for you. And there are even more watching from afar. Family, old friends, new friends, sports friends, camp friends, au pairs, mentors, coaches. This is quite an incredible group. Remember always that we will be standing beside you, so call on us when you need to. The next thing I want to remind you of is your identity as a Jewish young man. Embrace with pride the responsibilities that come with our unique covenant with God and lead a life of honor and integrity. Today you read from the Torah as a bar mitzvah. Strive to live by the values it teaches. I also want to give you some advice to hold on to when the going gets tough. Remember to be courageous and brave. There will be times in your life where you'd rather run and hide or bury your head in the sand than face whatever challenge lies in your way. I know because I've been there. But never, never, never give up. You are strong and you deserve success. Believe in yourself and you will succeed. Remember how blessed you are. Life is full of highs and lows. It is easy to count one's blessings when you are riding high. The harder part is to still see the blessings you have amidst the lows. Always put your family first. This may not always be easy, especially as you navigate your way through school and friendships and building a career. Remember that your sister Brooke, even though she can sometimes drive you crazy, is your for-lifer. When Dad and I are long gone, she will be by your side. Take good care of her. And as you grow, your family will grow too, and they should be at the heart of every decision you make. That does not mean you should stifle your dreams or minimize your goals. It just means you need to make sure that whatever decisions you make are truly in the best interests of your family. Because in the end, they are the most important thing you have. And the last thing I want to offer you today has always been yours and will always be yours, and that is me. I want you to know that as you journey through life, I am always on your side. Know that I will always be here to guide you to the right choices and to help you get through whatever may come from those choices. Even if I can't be here with you physically, I will be by your side. I will be holding your hand and I will be holding you up. I will be holding you close and guiding you forward. Deanie, when I say I love you, it means that you are the person for whom I would stop everything and give up everything. You are an immense blessing to Dad and me, to the rest of your family and friends, to your community, and to the world. You are meant for great things, and I can't wait to see what your future holds. Mazal tov on your bar mitzvah.
You did it. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. We really appreciate you being here today. Many of you here today may remember that Bryony had terrible migraine headaches when she was pregnant with Dean and Brooke. These were horrible, debilitating headaches that she suffered through almost every day and that persisted from very early on in the pregnancy through birth. Ultimately, it was determined that these headaches were caused by changes that come in the body with pregnancy, and thankfully went away once you were born, or so we thought. In all seriousness, Dean, you have been an unimaginable blessing to your mom and me, even with all the headaches pre and post birth.
And even though your mom suffered through unimaginable pain during the pregnancy, she wouldn't have had it any other way, not only because of the incredible human being delivered, but also because she knows quite well that I wouldn't have been able to get through it, especially a second time. But that's a story I'll save for a future bat mitzvah. Dean, we are so proud of your amazing performance in leading the service today. I must also say that I admire you as well. You have a heart that is so big and giving, and it constantly blows me away how kind you are to everyone, especially when you see those in need. Not a year has gone by that we haven't received notes from your teachers and coaches about how you have gone out of your way to help a friend or classmate or teammate. In fact, only a few weeks into this year at your new school, Milken, we received an email from one of your teachers that not only had you gone out of your way to help her when you saw her struggling, but that you had also received a shout out at the Friday all-school meeting from a student who you had helped that very same day. When your mom and I asked you about it that night and which friend you had helped, you replied simply, "It was no big deal. I didn't know her. She just looked like she needed help, so I helped her." It comes so naturally to you to think about others first. Please promise your mom and me that you will never let this incredible trait fade. It will serve you well in all of life's endeavors. I also marvel at how naturally you connect to everyone. It doesn't matter how old or young someone is, or if you've never met them before, you will instantly connect over sports, traveling, shoe drops, annoying sisters, favorite teams, yucky foods, skimboarding, football, the Lakers, your dad's amazing athletic prowess, and many more less important things. It is so much fun to be with you because of your joy in living life to the fullest, every single day. You make everyone feel better when they're around you. Please don't discount your ability to connect with others. If we could only figure out a way to get you to eat food, I think you would be the perfect kid. Over this past year, you have worked incredibly hard to make today happen. Your mom and I have watched with admiration how you've grown and become more independent. And I'm not just talking about how you've limited my bedtime snuggles, which is very frustrating, by the way. I remember the good old days when you never wanted me to leave, but I digress. We noticed how you started to come into your own, to develop your own opinions, passions, likes, and dislikes, and we could not be prouder of the person you are becoming. You are smart, persistent, witty, kind, diligent, and a very good student, which you probably get from me. And you are also very, very funny. Dean, you have a fantastic sense of humor, and even though I'm often the butt of your jokes, you constantly crack us up with your quips and pranks. Equally important, you don't take yourself or life too seriously and can handle being laughed at. Standing here today, watching you become a young man, my heart is overflowing with joy. There is a piece of sadness, however, after my dad, Dennis, after who you were named, could not be here, and my Grandpa Roy and Grandpa Fred also, to see you shine. Growing up, some of my fondest memories are going on adventures with them, mostly fishing, camping, and hunting. As I look back on those experiences, I remember them teaching me so many life lessons about patience, integrity, humility, and most importantly, family. As a dad, many of my greatest memories are sharing special times with you. Perhaps not hunting or fishing, but our epic trip to Boston, our adventures at the Rams and Lakers games, and the hours of watching you play basketball, football, and skimboarding in Laguna. I just love being with you, and I hope I, too, have been able to teach you some of these life lessons. About patience, okay, maybe not that one. integrity, humility, and the importance of family. But as usual with you, Dean, you have taught me way more than I have taught you, and for this I am eternally grateful. You have taught me how to be resilient, fighting, overcoming loss, beating back disappointment, never giving up, and continuous optimism are all traits you embody. Loyalty. You have shown me over and over again that once someone becomes your family or friend, that you will be there for them 100% of the time, even if that means putting your own needs aside. This incredible trait comes from my mom, your Grandma Lynn, and I continue to strive to follow you down this path. Love. Dean, you have shown me how to love bigger and better, as I see your heart is so huge. From the beginning, you have loved Brooke and have always been her biggest fan. There is never a time when you are only looking out for yourself, and you are always wanting to make sure she is taken care of, even when she annoys the living daylights out of you, which we all know is a very rare occurrence. From day one, you have been your sister's biggest fan, cheering her on, supporting her through her defeats, and bolstering up when she feels down. Your mom and I know this will be a continuous blessing in both of your lives. Dean, you are the total package. As your dad, I learn from you every day. I marvel at how I could have gotten so lucky, and I spend hours praying that I won't screw you up too badly. Seriously though, since I have you here in front of me just a little bit longer, I want to pass on just a few life lessons that I will hope make your road ahead not only a little bit easier, but richer and more fulfilling. Dean, wherever you go and whatever you do, remember to be your own man. Don't worry about what others think of you, and always honor your word and always speak and act kindly. Believe in yourself, trust in your judgment, and have conviction when you act. Never stop working on yourself, and promise yourself that every day you will wake up a better version of you. And when you learn something that changes your mind, admit to being wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Lastly, always live life to the fullest and take every opportunity that is presented to you. And if you remember nothing else from the advice I've shared today, always remember that you are loved beyond words. The love I have for you is never ending. It just grows stronger and deeper. And you are not just loved by me, your mother, your sister, and your family, but by your friends, your teachers, your coaches, and community. We are all rooting for your success. Today, I'm full of gratitude, hope, joy, and pride as I watch you become a bar mitzvah. Cherish every minute of your amazing life. Mazel tov.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hitatef b'tzitzit.
We're going to turn back in our Siddur as we begin the Torah service, page 139. This time we call forward Amanda, the offender, and Carter Collins to help us open the ark. Again, page 139, Ein Kamocha.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai v'ein k'ma'asecha malchutecha malchut kol olamim וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Harachamim ejiva virtzoncha et Zion. Jivenei chomot Yerushalayim. Jivenei chomot Yerushalayim. Ki lecha levan v'tavlu. Melech el ram v'nisa Adon olamim. Vayehi bin Zoharon vayomer Moshe Oma Adonai ve'yavotzu oivecha ve'yanusu misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion Beitzei Torah, ki mitzion beitzei Torah, udevar Adonai miYerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai Ti, Oneromema Shemo Yaktav. Adonai Hagedola v'Hagevora v'Hatiferet v'Hanetzach v'Havod ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha ve'amit na'aseh lechol erod. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu behar Gosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu behar Gosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu behar Gosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu behar Gosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
All right, Shabbat Shalom again. Shabbat Shalom. If you want to just turn to the people next to you, wish them Shabbat Shalom. Behind you, introduce yourselves if you don't know each other. It's no secret that we've been living through a very challenging moment in our history. And that we have lived through challenges, and this is another of those challenges that we continue to live through. And we continue to persevere. And we continue to try and find ways to overcome. And this week's Torah portion may give us a message. I don't want to say more than any other Torah portion, because there are always messages that we can learn that can help us in any moment. For that's what Torah is. As we'll say at the end of the service, it's chaim hi lamachazikim ba. It is a tree of life to those who hold fast to it. Offers us a glimpse into how to live our lives, into how to overcome and persevere. But maybe this week, maybe it just feels especially helpful and meaningful. And there's a message that Dean is going to share in just a little bit after he reads from the Torah, which is a beautiful message that definitely helps during this time as well. And I'd like to share just briefly one other message, maybe two. As we see, Bnei Israel, the people of Israel, have just left Egypt after being enslaved for so long. And they're right before the sea, and all of a sudden, if we know the story is that Pharaoh changes his mind, and Pharaoh and his army, they come towards the Israelites, and they decide that they had made the wrong decision, and they come forward to try and to overtake them. And the Israelites look up, and they see the sea on one side, and they see the Egyptians on the other. And they turn to Moses, and they complain. Were there not enough graves in Egypt? You had to bring us here. They complain after seeing the plagues that had occurred, after witnessing God's power. They complain. And so what does Moses say to them? If we look at the text, page 403, if you'd like to look along in the Red Chumash. But Moses says to the people, have no fear. Stand by and witness the deliverance which the Lord will work for you today. Right, so it's a recognition here of admission of divine deliverance, of divine intervention. God will do this for you. You want to complain? Complain. But wait, have no fear. God will intervene as God has intervened. But then there's a turning point. We know what happens. The story is the sea parts. The Israelites march into freedom. They sing a song of freedom. That's why we call today Shabbat Shirah, the Shabbat of song. They get to the other side, and again they complain. They complain that there's not enough food, that there's no water. They complain. I think it's in our DNA. Complain just a little bit of kvetching. But then there's a moment of transformation. They're about to be attacked by the Amalekites, the worst enemy in our people's history. Well, maybe not the worst enemy in our people's history. We have seen it, maybe worse. They're about to be attacked. And so rather than Moses looking to the people and saying, God will intervene, Moses turns to Joshua and says to Joshua, gather people to fight. This isn't about divine intervention anymore. It's about human agency. Gather people to fight. And Moses goes with Aaron, his brother, and with Hur, and they sit on a mountaintop. And as the Torah teaches us, as we see later on in our Torah reading, right, when Moses ascends the mountain and the people fight, Moses raises his staff, that same staff that he held with him throughout his time in Egypt, throughout crossing of the sea. When Moses raises his staff, the people of Israel prevail. And when he lowers his staff, the Amalekites prevail. And Moses gets tired. And so Aaron and Hur try to support him. They place a rock under him. They help him raise his arms. And so some might say, and there are some of our rabbinic commentaries who say that, yes, this is divine intervention again. Moses raises his staff. The people start winning. Moses drops his staff. People start losing. That has to be God. But the rabbis of the Mishnah teach us something different. They say whenever the people of Israel looked up, they started to prevail. But whenever they looked down, they started to lose. When they would look up, they would prevail. When they looked down, they would not. And so, one of those messages might be that in that human agency is our ability to hold on to hope. That when we keep our heads high, when we look up, that we have the confidence and the reassurance that we can prevail, that we can succeed, that we can overcome any obstacle before us. When we look down, we lose that confidence. We lose that ability to see that we have within us the ability to overcome. And so the first message of this story is to keep our heads up. Because if we only look down, we won't see the blessings before our eyes. If we're constantly looking down, we won't be able to look up and look around and see the people around us, see the people who we love and care for. Won't be able to find that hope to persevere, to know that we can overcome. The second message is that Moses, when he stood up there and he tired, because Lord knows we all tire. Just like Moses, the days and the weeks are tiring. But he had Aaron and Hur with him to help him raise his arms. To remember that as we hold on to that hope, to look around us, to look at the people who are there to support us as we move in to the next day and the day after that, to hold on to each other, to hold on to hope. That is a message, one of many. And so we begin our Torah reading on page 403 as Dean begins to read from his family Torah. It is a Torah that has been in your family, Dean, that belongs to your family. And now today, you, Dean, become bar mitzvah and read from this Torah and join in the tradition of your family in reading from your family Torah. And it is our hope that you hold on to this Torah. Hold it tight and take the lessons that we learn from it and have them come out through your hands and through your feet. Again, page 399, Parashat Bishalach.
ויעזור ויגן ויושיע לכל החוסים בו ונאמר אמן. הכל אבותיו התורה יעמדו. הורי הבת מצווה, הלל בן אברהם ושרה, ואשתו ברכה בת אנסל ומיעונה, ראשונים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו, ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם, חיים כולכם היום. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayehi Beshalach para et ha'am v'lo nacham Elohim derech eretz plishtim ki karov hu ki amar Elohim peinachem ha'am v'yotam milchama v'shavu mitzrayma Vayasev Elohim etam derech hamidbar yam suf v'chamushim alu v'nei Yisrael meretz mitzrayim vayikach Moshe et atzmot Yosef imo ki ashbia hishbia et bnei Yisrael lemor hakod yivkod Elohim etchem V'halitem et atzmotai mizeh itchem.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam nata betochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
יעמדו אנסל בן ישראל, הרב רחל לאה בת ולבל וחווה, לעלייה שנייה. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vaisua misukot vayachanu beitam biktzeh hamidbar v'Adonai holech lipnehem yomam be'amud anan lanchotam haderech v'layla be'amud esh leha'ir lahem halechet yomam v'layla v'yamish amud hanan yomam be'amud ha'esh la'ayla livnei ha'am.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher natan lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
אמן. יעמדו אורה בת אברהם ורון בן שרגא לעלייה שלישית. It's on page 401, chapter 14, line 3. Touch the door, but did you see it? Please, here. Sorry.
Baruch et Adonai
המבורך.
המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם והפרטית. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם.
ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. V'diber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, ve'yashuvu, ve'achanu lipnei piachira, bein migdol uvein hayam, lipnei ba'ot zephon, nichot achanu al hayam, ba'amar paro, lipnei Yisrael, nevachim hem ba'aretz, segar alehem hamidbar, v'chizakti elev paro, v'yadaf achreihem, v'yikavda b'faro, v'chol chelo, v'yadu mitzrayim ki ani Adonai, v'yasu chen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nechanu morat emet chai olam notav b'chayinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
יעמדו רפאל, יששכר בן שלמה, הדסה בת חיים, אהרון בן ישראל, לעלייה רביעית. ברוך אדוני המבורך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baka banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayugal melech Mitzrayim ki varacham vayehafech leva paro vavadav elham vayomru mazot asinu ki shilachnu et Yisrael me'avdenu vayesor et richba v'et amolakach ima vayikach sheshmo recheb achur v'chol recheb Mitzrayim v'shashim al kula v'chazek Adonai ele paro melech Mitzrayim vayirdof achrei b'nei Yisrael yotzim be'ad Ramah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
יעמדו ברוך בן טוביה ישראל בן אהרון לעלייה חמישית. The fifth aliyah is in the middle of page 402, verse 9.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. repeat. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vardafu Mitzrayim achreihem vayasigu otam chonim halayam chosus reche para ufrasha vechelo al pi achira lipnei ba'od sephon ufaro hikriv vayisu b'nei Yisrael et einehem vehine Mitzrayim nosea achreihem vayiru meod vaytzeku b'nei Yisrael el Adonai vayomru el Moshe hamidli en kevavim b'Mitzrayim v'rachtanu lamut b'midbar azot asita lanu v'hotianu mi Mitzrayim.
Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tocheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
ירדו משה בן רפאל והדסה, אליהו בן רפאל והדסה, יוסף בן רפאל והדסה, לעלייה.